Hey there, it is Mrs. Jones, the systems genius, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 systems that you should have documented if you have not already done so. So let's get right to it. Now, before I discuss those 5 systems, let me go ahead and explain to you what I mean when I say the word system. Your systems are comprised of the people, the procedures, and the tools that you use to carry out certain tasks. So, for example, your email marketing system would comprise of the people who are involved in managing that system, in monitoring that system, in implementing that system, as well as the people who are on the receiving end of whatever the end product of that system is, right? So those are going to be your people. Your procedures are going to be the step by step processes that you use to create whatever it is that you create for your email marketing and upload that into whatever your tool of choice. And let's say your tool of choice is Active Campaign. So Active Campaign would be the tool. So those are the people, the processes, and the tools that would be a part of that email marketing system, if that makes sense. Okay. Which brings me to my first system that you should already have documented. It is your email marketing system. If you don't have your email marketing system documented, once you know that it works, completely different conversation. We'll talk about that later. But if you don't have that process documented, you are really putting your team at a disadvantage because if you have a process for, let's say you have a freebie, right? You have some kind of complimentary resource that people sign up for. So they sign up, they put in their email address, and then they get a series of emails after they get the freebie, and that series of emails is supposed to point them towards a product or a service that you would want them to purchase from you at some particular point in time. What happens if you decide to have more than one complimentary resource? Let's say you're starting out with maybe 2 services. Well, what happens if you decide to have 3 services or 5 services or 10 services? Each of those services is going to be for a different client base, which means that they're going to get a separate set of emails. They're going to have a slightly different kind of experience with you. And so you want to put your team in a position so that when you scale, so if you get more products, if you get more services, if you start to offer more complementary resources, they're not completely starting from zero. They know exactly what it is that you want. They know exactly how it is that you want it done. And all they have to do is take that system, use that system as a template to create any other email marketing series that is necessary for what you have as you're scaling your company. Okay, so if you don't have your email marketing system documented, you want to go ahead and make sure that you have that documented. Okay. The second system that you need to have documented is whatever the system it is that you use to create your social media content. Okay. So if you are using TikTok and LinkedIn and Instagram, and maybe those are your 3 social media platforms, there is a specific way that you like to have it done. There's a certain way that you want your posts to be written. There are certain kinds of calls to action that you want to be given. Maybe there's a process that you have that you use to determine what kind of story you're going to be telling this week in your content. There are certain colors that you use. There are certain fonts that you use. If you're doing Instagram blocks, there's a certain way that you want those blocks to look like. There are certain hashtags that you use. So there are all of these things that are important to be able to build out the content in the way that you want that content to be built out, right? Very important that you get that system out of your head and out of the heads of your most fabulous people and into a system that anybody can just jump in and plug and play. So right now it might be you and maybe you have 2 people who help you with your social media. Well, what happens as your company begins to grow and now you're bringing on more team members and now you have more things that you want to promote on social media and now you want to play with different kinds of platforms on social media? It's going to be really important that they have some type of a format, some type of a template, so that they can see what it is that you want, how it is that you want it done, so they can take that, plug it and play, and just adjust it based on whatever it is that you're talking about on whatever social media platform it is that you're using. And again, documenting it makes it really easy for you to bring new people on to the team. They can come in, they're quickly trained so that they can hit the ground running. Okay, so social media, that's the second system that you need to go ahead and document. The third system that you need to document is how you offer your customer support. So this may be in the form of Voxer. Maybe you have Voxer hours for your VIP clients. Maybe you have a Facebook group where people can go in and ask questions. Maybe you have a knowledge base on your website that's easily accessible where they can go in and they can just type in the questions and get very quick answers. Maybe you have a chat bot feature as part of, like a one of those boxes on the bottom of your website where they can go in and they can chat with a bot, or maybe they can chat with an actual person. Whatever your customer support process looks like, you want to go ahead and document that. Once you have determined the best way to serve your clients and the best way to serve your customers, the best way to answer their questions, the best way to offer them quick solutions to their problems if they're having problems accessing your products and your services, whatever the situation may be, you want to be sure to document that. Because again, as your company begins to scale and you're bringing on new people to support you in these different areas, you want to make sure that your customer support experience is seamless all the way across the board, right? So the people who are in this service get this kind of support. The people who are purchasing this product get this kind of support. Whatever that looks like, you want it to be seamless across the board, and you want it to be very clear for anybody who you're bringing onto the team so that there's no discrepancies, nobody's making up their own thing. Everybody's getting an amazing experience, and your clients get the experience that you want them to have. Okay? So that's why you need to document your customer support system if you are not already doing so. The fourth system that you need to go ahead and document is how you run your accounting and your finances, your financials. This is extremely important. A, because it gives you a snapshot of where you are in your business. You're able to see your expenses. You're able to see your income versus your expenses. It's really important to be able to have those processes in place so that when you turn in your documentation to your CPA or your accountant, this person can clearly see what it is that you have spent, clearly see what it is that you've made. They can make really good decisions about what to do on your tax return, and you've made it really simple and really easy for them. If you have a team who handles your accounting and who handles the finances in your business, it's going to be important that they have some streamlined processes, again, so that they can do exactly what it is that you want done in the way that you want it done. And again, if you're going to be growing your company, if you're going to be scaling your company and bringing on new people, you want to be able to have those processes documented in a place so that anybody who comes into the finance department, anybody who comes into the accounting department knows exactly what they're supposed to do. They know where to find their passwords. They know what tools you're using. They know where to store all of your data. They know where to access data that was already stored prior to them coming onto the team. And again, they can actually hit the ground running. One of the things that you don't want as you are growing your company or as you are scaling your company is you don't want a situation where it literally takes people the first 90 days just to figure out exactly what's going on in the back end of your company, just to figure out how you do what you do before they can actually get to work. You want them to get to work as quickly as possible. So if you have developed a system for accounting and a system to handle your finances and it is working, you want to get that system out of the heads of your most fabulous people, out of the heads of your sharpest people, and into a tool that anybody can access. So if one of your sharpest people is not available, or if you don't want to be available to handle the accounting and the finances of your business, you can plug someone else into that position. They can look at those documents, they can look at those systems in one place and hit the ground running without very much downtime. So, accounting and finances. And then the last system that you want to document, or that we're going to be talking about today, because we're only talking about five, the last system that we're going to be talking about today is your sales system. If you have developed a system for taking your leads in, qualifying your leads, having the sales calls, closing those deals, onboarding them into your products and services and all of these wonderful things, and you've created systems and processes that are actually working, you want to document those, okay? Because if your sales team is doing multiple different things, so you've got one person over here who's selling in this way, and you've got another person over here who's selling in this way, you got another person over here who's making these kinds of offers, and you got another person over here who's making those kinds of offers, you don't really know what's going to be working, right? And You may have people on your team who are offering things that maybe you no longer offer, or maybe they're doing things in a way that you no longer do them. So you want to make sure that everybody is on the same page. All right. The quickest way for you to be able to get out of the inside of your business so that you can work on your business is to ensure that you've got these processes in place so that when you hire people for sales, they know exactly how it is that you do what you do, and they can be as successful or even more successful than you were at selling your products and services. And so it streamlines everything. It makes it really easy to create a solid training program for your sales team. So again, they can hit the ground running. So those are the five systems that you want to take a look at. So if you have developed processes for processes and systems in these areas and you know they are working, you want to make sure that you are documenting those systems and those processes. And if you need a place to be able to store those, which you will, then I want you to take a look at Trainual. It's going to be down in the comments. I'm going to have a link down there for you to get a 7-day trial for you to try it out. But I want you to take a look at it because it allows you to not only have a place where you can store all of your processes, all of your procedures, but it's also a really cool place for you to be able to build your business playbook, which is sort of like a digital version of your business. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but you can store your company profile in there, all of your policies. So if you have a work from home policy, a dress code policy for those of you who are still in the office, whatever the policies that you have, you can store those in there along with your documented processes. And so it allows you to create this really cool business playbook that you can use as an asset for training the people who are coming onto your teams. Okay, so it's going to be down there in the comments. Take a look at it. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to DM me. My DMs are totally open and I'm the one who handles my DMs. So feel free to DM me. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions and I will talk to you all another time. Bye.